Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Fanatic Forum. I'm your Fanatic and host, George Bueller. I think I'm fully recovered from the Multiverse fundraiser, which is actually still going on. So you could donate at cb4k.org or our Facebook group, the Multiverse Fundraiser. And so, yeah, that's still going strong, but we had a great weekend here. Lots of awesome interviews. And of course, got to bring on my brother from another mother here, Mr. Manhammer himself. His mama talking to him, trying to tell him how to live.
No, yes. It was like, yeah. So the Rollins band version of that song came on. Like, I got a Bluetooth speaker in my bathroom, so it's like while I'm in the shower, I listen to music. And the Rollins band version of that came on this morning, and it's been in my head all day. And it was like I've listened to like 4 different versions of it.
Dude, I forgot that the Rollins band, because of course I'm a huge Cheech and Chong fan, so the OG is always on my playlist. It's in my car because I got like a thumb drive. I got a thumb drive in my car that just basically has hundreds of thousands of MP3s on there. So yeah, that's definitely in there. But yeah, I forgot Rollins band did a cover of that. I need to go explore covers that you're in my eye. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, it's not a great cover, like audio quality wise. Like, I think it's like it's some live show in a dive bar somewhere in like the 80s or early 90s,
Ooh.
But yeah. I mean, it's still very listenable and nails it. But
yeah.
Weirdly enough, Korn does a good version of it too.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. So here we go.
V.
Finally, Fanatic Girls are back together. Yep, it's just us this weekend. So
yeah.
We've had 2 just wild and crazy shows here with Prodigy Comics 2 weeks ago, which, by the way, folks, if you weren't able to tune in during the Multiverse fundraiser, we talked about this a little bit. Their comic is fully funded for Prodigy Comics. Not only is it fully funded, they've exceeded their funding at this point. So
that is great to hear. I'm super stoked for them. I'm excited. Like, they're going to be huge.
So yeah, and of course I got basically I kind of funded them twice because I got the package of like all the variant covers, and then they like stickers and all kinds of fun like stuff like that. But then I got the retailer package so I can have a couple copies for the shop as well. Because basically, because the cool thing was literally like the next show I had, which would have been like a Tuesday show. The next show I would have had. I had people ask us like, "Hey, you guys gonna have copies of that Prodigy Comics?" Like, yeah, I'm gonna do a retailer package so I can have a couple to sell to you guys. So yeah, so there's some people who are watching and enjoyed that. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, but let's see tonight. Of course, we're gonna do some reviews here. You got some effed up history to talk about, and of course,
I do.
Early birthday gift to me. It's the Royal Rumble on Saturday. So the 4 horsemen are gathering at Manhammer Manor. It will be an epic get together as it traditionally normally is. So
yes, it's always a blast when the boys get together on wrestling nights. We have a group text going on about just how stoked we are for everything. It was. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed because it's like I'd already looked at some of the spoilers or supposed spoilers because you know how that goes. You know how that goes with them. It's like up until it happens in the ring, who knows?
Well, the thing is too. It's like because these spoilers were courtesy of Sean Ross Sapp, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, that's Punk's guy.
Interesting. Yep. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Sean Ross Sapp, basically, he and Seth CM Punk are. I don't know if tight would be the word, but they are friendly. So usually anything that breaks CM Punk wise, Sean Ross Sapp usually has first dibs to. So if there's any news coming, that may actually be a credible source.
Okay.
So,
well, yeah, I definitely won't give you all the scoops then that I'm here.
No, I don't. That's the one thing I still enjoy about wrestling is the surprise. That's why I kind of stopped following a lot of wrestling groups. Like I still kind of follow for things along the lines like if anybody gets injured or people get cut or somebody's getting hired or whatever the case may be like that. So
yeah. Sorry, I was still listening. I just had Kenzie of all people or of all creatures was going into my bathroom to try and dig in the trash.
Well, that's okay because I got Iris over here in the litter pan, probably doing her usual spite shit. Because usually every episode, she will take a dump, usually like right before the show, and so I have that wonderful bouquet going on here as I'm broadcasting to you guys. Or she does it during the show, so she's now chosen a during as we speak. This
Giving you that extra aroma.
Dude, this gonna get funky here in a little bit, and well, I love my girls, but God bless. Yeah, but yes. Oh yeah, and basically, yeah, V is saying that he's a subscriber to Sean Ross Sapp, so he's always on point. So yeah, I don't want any spoilers, so we ain't gonna talk spoilers here.
Yeah, so V, don't give no spoilers either, because we probably know the same stuff.
And see, we need to like get like teleport gates going here so we can have V come over to Manhammer Manor because he just fit right in with the rest of us. And, and so this needs to happen here. So so we need to get Marvel sparkles, going on here. So exactly, yeah. That's what Deadpool calls them, Marvel sparkles. So there you go.
He does,
or sparkle circles or something along those lines. But anyway,
sparkle circles, yeah.
Sparkle circles, yeah. Anyway, so and of course, our interview we did last week for the Multiverse fundraiser with Dean Hill and John Cosper. Man, that hour went by so quick, but that was
it did. It was like I wish we had more time with them, obviously, but it's like once we got going, there was just you'll never have enough time to really ask everything you want. Whatever you've got, basically some of your heroes on. You get to interview them.
Yeah, it really is. And here's the fun part here, and I will share this with you guys tomorrow because I cannot share this on air. But Dean called me, because I now have cell phone numbers and have traded phone calls with Dean Hill, so we're at that level right now. Nice. Yeah. Anywho, so I got a kind of a semi-wrestling story, but kind of cool. It's somewhat more of a wrestling story, but involves law enforcement. So how there's one question I wanted to ask Dean about an infamous John Cena promo involving Rocky the Flying Squirrel.
Yeah.
So I can now relay this story to you, gentlemen.
Oh wow!
I will do so off air, and it's a humdinger.
See, this is gonna be like this clip is gonna end up on George Fleck, absolutely. This clip is gonna end up on one of those weird spreadsheets on a forum like 20 years from now, where it was like there was the Rocky the Flying Squirrel promo and like only a handful of people know what it is, and then like this is gonna be clipped as evidence of what it is.
Yes, I now have the knowledge that I will share off air, and I can't wait to tell you guys.
Absolutely. Do you remember that old spreadsheet that had the wrestling rumors?
Oh yeah,
that had like some of the most ridiculous stuff on it, but then some of the stuff that just absolutely turned out to be 100% true.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, that, and there was also the spreadsheet of like all like the wrestlers' real names and stuff like that too. And
yeah.
I was awesome. V has a question for you, Mr. Seth. What are your latest Blu-ray pickups?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I have not bought a Blu-ray in quite some time. What? I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, I have not purchased a Blu-ray in quite some time. The last DVD that I bought was about a month ago, and that was a copy of Frailty at the secondhand place because it was $4. But
that's a great movie at any price.
Yeah. No, actually, so I've been kind of at a weird point with my Blu-ray pickups because a lot of the movies now I don't have that same affinity towards to get like a special edition of, or to like need to own a copy of. Like there's some movies that come out, like for some reason I have a 4K copy of Dune, the first one, but I'm never gonna watch that again. Yeah. Right, but I'm not opposed to it, but it's like a lot. I was thinking about this because they just released a new 4K set, or announced a new 4K set of the Dollars trilogy on 4K, right?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and it's coming out with Air or from Arrow, and I'm sure it's going to be like phenomenal and everything. The big kicker with this is it's got HDR on it, right? So now the original Kino releases that were the 4K scans, they didn't have HDR on them, and that was a big, like, people were losing their minds over this, right?
Yeah.
And now here's the kicker about HDR. It's a big marketing gimmick and selling point for TVs, and it absolutely exists on TVs, but most of the TVs that you're paying like under $800 for are not going to be able to give you an accurate HDR representation anyway.
Right.
So all of this is just, gobbledygook that you're talking yourself into. But I mean, long story short is it's like I've got those original Kino 4Ks over here, but of the original or of the Dollars trilogy. So it's like I don't necessarily feel like I need to upgrade again. Like and it's like I'm not buying like another copy of Army of Darkness. I've bought like 5 copies of that over the years,
Oh
like,
God, Anchor Bay just wore out their welcome with the constant releases of that.
dude,
Yeah.
yeah. Now,
Mm,
now there's one exception that I did make and that I was actually kind of upset that I did because I kind of got screwed on it. Was Ghostbusters on 4K, right? Ghostbusters, my all-time favorite movie. I love that flick. I had it on DVD, Blu-ray because the special features kept ramping up on it and getting better.
sure.
So
Yeah.
I got this last 4K of Ghostbusters, or the not the last 4K. It came in a box set, but a different. It was just like a standard 4K cut with like the special features and a couple of extra deleted scenes and everything, stuff that I'd never seen before as a Ghostbusters guy, and
Oh,
I
nice.
was all into it. Yeah. Well, then there's another 4K that comes out, and it's got even more of the deleted scenes, and it's got like the entire cut of them going to the fort, and
Oh,
yeah, the Ray the ghost hookup scene. Yeah,
yeah.
that like the rough cut of that is on there, and it's like, man, like I'm not buying
Oh,
Ghostbusters on 4K twice just to get that one scene, and it's like I can probably find it on YouTube or something,
yeah.
but yeah, it's like I'm kind of at a point where it's like I don't think I necessarily need any more Blu-rays at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I will preach patience on some of those special features because initially, when they put out the first six Star Wars films on Blu-ray, and they had all the extra special features and deleted scenes, right? And so, like,
Hmm.
oh, I really want those deleted scenes on the original trilogy, yada yada. But I held off because, like, they're special editions. Yeah, I don't want to touch them. Then Disney Plus comes along. And there are my deleted scenes and my special features. Like, they're
Yeah.
all on here. Well, look at that. So,
Yeah, I
nice.
will give them props for that. I do like it when streaming services include the special features.
Mhm.
Like, I know, say what you will about Apple and their practices, but I know for their Arrow releases, which go on sale quite often, but like they have the special features on there too, so you can get the
Oh,
digital
really?
copy. Yeah, and it's like, so it's like Conan the Barbarian, for example. If it like, I don't know
Mm,
if it's on there, but if it is, but it would be like it would have the commentary tracks and the behind the scenes stuff and everything
nice.
except that everything that couldn't be physically, you know, or
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
everything digitally. But
Yeah, I have that Conan 4K and the Warriors 4K. Like, I bought like the big deluxe sets of both of
right,
those.
right,
I'm like,
right.
please, yes, two of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, so good.
Oh yeah,
And
those are super nice releases
And,
too.
and and I needed, y'all, they really are. I needed the Warriors on Blu-ray that wasn't that god awful director's cut that Walter Hill for 5 seconds thought was a good idea, has now rescinded that statement and said, "Ooh, yeah, okay, it does really break up the pacing of the movie." Like, yeah, no shit, buddy.
Yeah, it's not like, ugh. My mom was the biggest Warriors fan in the world, and we got that for her birthday one year. And like I'm watching it with her, and it's like I'm like, yeah, this is crap. She hated it. And then
I
we had to
will
go and
say though, I will say that the interviews with the surviving cast they have on there, those were cool. The
oh
supplementary features
yeah.
on that are great, but yeah, the director's cut on that is just garbage.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, it was yeah, that was excuse me. Yeah, but that's one that definitely I'm glad the theatrical cut is back in circulation again.
Yeah, amen to that. Now, to answer your question, though, V, my last pickup, I got this one last year, but this was a lot of fun. There is an Australian Blu ray of the Dolph Lundgren Punisher that has 3 cuts on there.
You have
The
that?
Yes, I do. If you need, yeah, I'll bring that to you on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, please do. Oh God, I would love to see that.
Yes.
Sorry,
Okay. Yeah.
continue what it is, because yeah, I know people get excited. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the theatrical cuts, it's the director's cuts, which the director's cut footage is or like remastered or whatever else. So, but it's like 15 minutes total throughout the film. So it's literally like, an extra couple of seconds of violence or whatever else. So you see like somebody getting stabbed or somebody getting shot or something like that. It's nothing really, really big. Because if you have read the comic book adaptation of the Punisher movie, there's like a lot of extra scenes and a lot of extra stuff between Frank and Louis Gossett Jr. that's not in the theatrical cut. All of that stuff is in the work print edition, which is also included in this Blu-ray. But this comes to us from the wonderful land of Australia, and it's region free, so you can watch it on anywhere. And it is available on Amazon for a very reasonable price of like 20, 25 bucks, something like that. So, okay, yeah, I will add that to the stack of stuff because, of course, V is we're seeing that is quite a pickup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, of course, in addition to the eclair cake, in addition to the additional surprises that I'm bringing to the Horseman here, the copy of G.I. Joe, the Clobber Comics exclusive, V's copy will be in there that you will need to sign for this.
Oh,
For
okay.
this young
Oh,
gentleman.
wow.
Yes.
My first official autograph.
Yes, yes. V insists that basically myself, Mrs. Fanatic, and Junior Fanatic all sign the copy here. But so I will also add the Punisher Blu-ray to that stack. So because Tommy at the shop was borrowing it, I'm like, "Are you finally done with that?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I need to bring that to you." He's like, "Dude, bring it," because I thought I told you about it a while ago and said you wanted to borrow it, and so I was trying to get it back from Tommy so you could. So
yeah, we might have talked about it once before, but I've slept since then. So yeah, and new information comes in, old information gets pushed out. Yeah. But no, I was looking at I almost pulled the trigger on that one time, but then it was like I only really shop on Amazon when I get a free trial of Amazon Prime.
there
So
you go. Good
yeah,
point. But
I
it's
really cheap, and this I was looking at the Blu-ray one time and it just wasn't Prime ready
yeah.
or Prime eligible. Yeah.
It's worth the pickup. I know there's some independent company that did a Blu-ray and a 4K of Trick or Treat, and I'm not talking about like the anthology with Sam. I'm talking about with Skippy from Family Ties, the rock and roll metal Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
It came out earlier this year, but I heard a lot of talk about it because there was like they didn't. It was a foreign company that was putting this out. They put a lot of like great editions out, but apparently there was some kind of rights issue, so it's not region free. So I don't know if U.S. customers kind of get screwed in the process or what the case may be. But it's like I've been kind of keeping my ear to the ground because like if this thing becomes like either region free or get a region one version of
Yeah.
a Blu-ray version of Trick or Treat. It's like I'm pulling the trigger on that the nanosecond I find out about this because that's that movie is and that soundtrack is extremely dear to me. I listen to that soundtrack on a regular basis even when it's not Halloween. So there you go.
Yeah.
Because there's the very small subgenre of heavy metal horror movies, and in my opinion, Trick or Treat is probably the greatest of those, and that's not saying a lot for the genre.
Yeah, but now talking real quick about different region releases, if you get a chance. So I know that Sony is dipping out of the Blu-ray player market, and a couple of other people are.
Right.
But if you can get a reasonable deal, and this is Fanatic Forum tip for anybody. If you can get a reasonable deal on a Panasonic 480 Blu-ray 4K player, the 480 or the 800 series, there is a region-free trick that you can use with the remote by just pressing the top menu button twice, and it works on about 85% of multi or on region locked Blu-rays. And yeah, I've got the player in my entertainment system right here. And yeah, the only disc that I'm aware of that it does not functionally work with is the Region 2 or Region B Dawn of the Dead release from Second Sight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one. And even that, like if you order that, the 4K of it is region free. It's the Blu-ray special features that are not region free, and like one of the cuts of the movie. So it's
Okay.
like you can still, yeah, it's still like a nice box set to get, but you know, up until they work out whatever rights deal for it here, then
I've still got my DVD box set of that big Dawn of the Dead that's got like
yeah,
multiple cuts of the film, and it's
yeah,
like
I've got it. I've got mine back here too. Yeah, I'm
yes,
good at with Dawn of the Dead for a minute.
yeah. It honestly, I've learned from the 4K edition of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There are some of those older horror films, especially the lower budget ones, like maybe a really great cut of or looking cut of that movie isn't a good thing because like that 4K Texas Chainsaw Massacre is very pretty, but it's like this movie doesn't really deserve to be pretty. Like it
Right.
should look a little crappy, and so and I'm kind of the same. So yeah, I've kind of learned my lesson. It's like maybe just any kind of cut where I have a physical copy of the movie, and that's kind of good enough for me. I don't really care if it's DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever else. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's like I used to be really into the special features part because I would really dive into them.
sure,
And
me
like
too. Yeah,
if there was like a hardcore special edition of something, I would spend probably like 2 or 3 days just going through all of the special features. I don't do that anymore. It's like, very rarely do I mean, if there's something really special, I might like go through a commentary or something.
yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's like I don't tear through every disc that I own, like with a fine tooth comb, like going through every special feature.
Yeah,
But
it depends. Like because, like I said, the aforementioned, the era of release of Conan the Barbarian, the era release of the Warriors. Yeah, I poured through all that stuff because there
oh
was a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
really
those
cool.
I absolutely would. That commentary track with Schwarzenegger and Milanus, excuse me for 1 second. Moxley, Moxley Kingston.
Oh, you use this middle name. Oh
Yeah,
my
well, he didn't come
goodness.
out on the first two. Yeah, I'm looking at you. He's getting into the trash can or something in there, and yeah, he was sickly earlier in the week, but
Yeah, you told me about that.
yeah,
Mox, you behave. Yeah,
yeah,
V saying to be fair, the latest 4K box movies are becoming collector's items. Their prices, packaging, physical, etc. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, they
yeah,
certainly are.
yeah, and that's I like that. Like I like the boutique presentation of them. Like,
Hmm.
because for a while, like we would get like, I mean, laser discs used to have like beautiful box set releases,
Oh yeah,
amazing
yeah,
stuff. And I like that a lot of boutique releases are doing that again, that style, but like with Blu-rays and 4Ks. But then there's some of the stuff like I I hate Shout Factory anymore. Like
oh
just
god,
with how they like they ever like if they rarely get their own or their own or rarely put out anything new. It's
yeah,
always a re-release of what's already been done with the special features that are at least a decade, if not older.
yep,
And nothing's new. And there's always something wrong with the disc.
yep,
Like either like 3 seconds is missing or it's a mono track instead of a stereo track. It's like, something's always missing. And that, they're like the extras that they put in it are always just posters and like expensive toys
yep,
that, nothing that really enhances the movie.
yeah.
And,
Just
and
just just garbage, basically.
yeah. And those Shaw Brothers box sets piss me off to no end too, because there's like 15 movies crammed into one of those things. And it's like there's really no curation to them, whatever. Like the Arrow Shaw scope sets, like they're very curated. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
different. Yeah,
beautiful sets.
different
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the first two. They're amazing. I haven't got the third one yet. I think it's mainly wuxia, like sword fighting films,
Okay.
as opposed to kung fu. So it's like I'm not in a super hurry to get that one. I'm a kung fu guy, but
Hmm.
yeah, those yeah, Shout also got a hold of the Golden Harvest film library
Oh,
or the rights to
nice.
that, which well, it includes the John Woo stuff, right? but it's like, again, it's Shout Factory. So it's like, what are they going to do with it? Like, we're going to end up with a bare bones release, because a lot of these movies from Hong Kong never got a lot of special features they can rip off.
Right.
You know, there were maybe a couple of Criterion commentary tracks for Hardboiled and The Killer that, like, if they can license, but you know, barely, like, yeah. And then, oh man, the Hong Kong Legends line that was the big UK label for Hong Kong movies in the 2000s. So Bay Logan did a bunch of commentary tracks for those, right? He was like the dude, like, he was the knowledgeable, he was the guy that was like Tarantino's buddy getting Dragon Dynasty started. He was also the guy that got Me Too'd all to hell when Harvey Weinstein got arrested, because he was involved in that. So yeah, all of his commentary tracks, as informative as hell as they were, like, yeah, they're never going to get released again.
Gone.
Yeah. So yeah, I would be surprised if these shout sets are going to be worth a damn.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but at least, you know, once at least maybe these movies are in rotation again in the States, that somebody else might pick them up, or eventually, because that's the funny thing is, like, Anchor Bay used to be like, they were the thing for all the collectors for stuff, and then they kind of drifted away, no pun intended, and then Shout Factory and Scream Factory took over, but they very quickly turned, and now you got Arrow Video out of Great Britain, who was just basically saying, hold my freaking beer, because we're showing you guys up big time. And I when I see the Arrow label on something, it's a measure of quality, and I know we're gonna have some fun stuff with it.
So. Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. It's like, I know some people have problems with the Arrow stuff too, like bad customer service dealings and whatnot, but I've never had any of that issue with Arrow. I've always loved the quality of the work that they've done. I've got multiple Arrow box sets, you know, and you know, I'm a huge lover of Arrow Video and what they do.
Yeah, totally. Well, we've got actually to get a little bit on track, because see, I love our show here. We've spent like 20 minutes talking about movies and stuff like that, and that's awesome. Matter of fact, V wants us to do like a Grindhouse episode. Either we could do a retrospective on like a lot of exploitation stuff like that, or actually talk about Grindhouse the movie itself. So,
oh, dude, I would. Hell, we can do that next week. Like, yeah, just make that the show. Like.
Okay, there you go. Oh, and V says that you're welcome. So thank you, brother. We appreciate it. We appreciate that extra content there.
Yeah. No, I was actually thinking, like, Grindhouse the movie like got into my sights like a couple of days ago, and I was like, I need to watch that again. So maybe this is like a good deal. And you know, I've got some selections of some movies, and I know you do too. So,
of course. And Tubi, as a streaming service, has become the place.
Oh, it is phenomenal.
They've got so much. They've got crap I've forgotten about, stuff I didn't even know about, which is great, because because I listen to like Tarantino's podcast, or listen to other podcasts talking about their like just forgotten movies or whatever else. And so, and like Tubi's got all this stuff.
Yeah. 15 years ago, actually, about 15 years ago, whenever I was doing like the convention circuit pretty hard and heavy, I remember the big deal coming out on DVD was Thriller, A Cruel Picture, right? You remember that movie? Yeah. Never in my wildest imaginations would I be thinking that I'd be flipping through. I think it's on Tubi.
It is.
Okay, yeah. In my wildest dreams would ever think that this movie would ever show up on a free streaming service, and I'll be damned if it's not on there. Yeah. No, I don't think it's the super explicit cut or anything, but
no, I think it is. It's just a regular cut.
I mean, it's still violent as hell, like the cut that's on there. Yeah.
There's just lots of great stuff. But every now and then, like, I've got a buddy that will come into the shop, and he and I will talk movies or whatever else. And so he'd always ask me for stuff. I'm like, well, dude, I've been watching a lot of Tubi, so really what you're going to be hearing is a lot of exploitation stuff. So he had never seen Rolling Thunder, and that's like one of my favorite exploitations, because basically Tarantino informed me on that one, and I informed now my audience, like, yeah, Tarantino's right about that one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I've been watching a lot of crappy kung fu movies. So in one weekend, I watched Force 5 and then Force 4. So if you're not aware, Force 5 is basically in the late 70s, early 80s, once Chuck Norris kind of started hitting it big, and he was, of course, like a legit karate master and champion and stuff like that. And then he started making movies, and the movies started making money. So movie studios, especially the smaller independent, exploitation studios, were looking for anything they could find to be another Chuck Norris. So Force 5 features 5 different American, basically, experts, champions within different sets of kung fu or karate or whatever else, right? Yeah. Acting, not their first strength, but the fight scenes are decent. But it's basically like the president's daughter or something, somebody's daughter gets kidnapped. And so you've got bad guy with, a whole bunch of henchmen on an island fortress. And so the 5 of them, and they call it Force 5, but literally the lead dude, who's like the best actor, only like barks orders and then kind of joins them for the big fight. So it's basically Force 4 plus 1, right?
And that usually means that, like, whatever country of origin that it was filmed in, that guy would have been the bigger actor, and so he would have been in less scenes, only to come in later. Yeah, so it was probably some kind of bigger name television actor that we just don't know about.
And it wasn't all 5 of the leads in the movie. They're all these like literal karate champions that have no acting experience whatsoever. This was their first film. So the blonde-haired white American dude is the guy that's in the least amount of the movie. But I think he was the biggest he may have been like an Olympic champion. I'm not 100%. Anywho, okay. Of the 2 movies, this one is like the most mindless of the 2. Then we get to Force 4. Force 4 is pretty much kind of a very similar concept where you've got 4 karate masters, champions, whatever else, on a rescue mission, somewhat militarized sort of thing like that, right? Except Force 4, all of them are African American champions, and the leader of them is like this like philosophical dude. So like the whole movie, he's going on with his garbage and philosophies and yada yada yada. And it's just like, oh my God. Okay. We get the point. You've smoked weed once and like read Farrakhan's letters a couple of times. We get it.
But yeah, he's the insufferable high schooler.
Yeah, just kick somebody's ass for the love of God. So the fight scenes are better. It's got a little more soul to it because it's more of a blaxploitation film, but there's some scenes where the leader gets a little bit on the insufferable side here. So it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. We need a whole episode devoted to kung fu movies. I swear.
We do. Yes, we do. Yeah.
We're going to put that on the docket for very soon. Yeah.
I keep torturing V and saying he's going to be a guest star on one of our episodes here, but he has to get over his fear of podcasting and being on live, which I can understand that. But sooner or later we're going to get this man.
Yeah, you're going to have to do it at some point, V. Yeah.
Yeah, sooner or later, brother. There you go. So, all right, a couple of comic reviews, and I understand you've got a book review, and then of course we got some effed up history. We're going to talk a little bit of the Royal Rumble and predictions. Even though you've apparently got the scoop, but I'm going to talk my predictions because, of course,
I still don't think. I mean, nothing that I have is like super groundbreaking or anything. It's not like I'm hearing that like Hulk Hogan's going to be a run-in or something.
Well, he can't run anyway. So, V says it would be his absolute honor to be on here. So there you go.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we got to make this happen.
See, we've got this on record here, V. So there you go, man. So there is exactly. You're just gonna have to get you can have a beverage, an adult beverage, on the show here. That's perfectly allowed because Seth and I are imbibing ourselves here. So anything to get you loosey goosey, man. But there you go. All right. So a couple of comic reviews I've got here, and then of course we'll do your book review as well here. But a couple from last week got to talk about here. This was a fun issue of G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero, number 313. Now, of course, this is still in the hands of Larry Hama, and Image basically has the opinion of as long as Larry wants to do this book,
He's gonna do it. Yeah.
You go right ahead, Larry, and all of us are saying yes, because in this particular issue, after many, many years of G.I. Joe Real American History, Real American Hero history, we are finally seeing a knockdown, drag out fight between Destro and Cobra Commander, and it's a good
Nice.
Oh, dude, it's like because they built it up in like the last couple of issues, and then literally in 313 it happens, and it's like, it's so satisfying. It really is, especially if you're a longtime Joe fan from the 80s. When I'm, oh, no, there's no Batman this week. Matter of fact, DC had like a really, really light week this week. So I had no DC books this week. And I've got a couple next week. So there might be a Batman book next week. I don't know. I can't promise anything, but yeah.
I bet one of the books that DC released, though, was a Batman book.
Yes, it was a noir edition of the last Halloween #1. So yeah. Literally, they released 9 friggin' books. One of them was a Batman book. 2 of them were Superman books. Oh, you can't write this shit. Oh,
no,
anyway.
you can't.
Okay, another one from last week here. That this was awesome here. This Wolverine Revenge series has been a lot of fun because it's not attached to any current continuity. It's kind of attached to almost like a very much an Elseworlds, 90s what if sort of thing like that. Except this is the red band edition, which means it is more explicit, more gory, and whatever else. And finally, after 40 friggin' years of Wolverine continuity and 4 issues of this promising garbage of, the story's been fun, mind you, but like, okay, let's turn up the gore. It's Wolverine, for God's sakes. I want to see him chop up some dude with his claws and like make thirds of a man.
Right, yeah.
Finally, this issue is brutal. Number 4, folks. Let me tell. Oh my God, he's hacking limbs. He's separating. He is. Oh, it's.
It better be the whole damn issue.
It is, because basically a lot of the heroes, a lot of the X-Men, a lot of the world has been taken out in kind of one fell swoop with a group of bad guys. It kind of started with Magneto dying, and when he died, an EMP was released because basically all the energy of his, went away. So that itself was devastating. And then this group of bad guys that includes Sabretooth and Deadpool and Omega Red and Mastermind kind of made things even worse. So Wolverine had taken out a lot of those guys, and Sabretooth was kind of like last on the list, and Wolverine has been saving him. Then apparently Sabretooth got some hands on some genetics or some crap and basically had cloned Omega Red into 3 different children. And so that was what Wolverine had to face in this issue. What's the 3 children of Omega Red? And yeah, like I said, it got brutal. and number 5, I think, will be the final issue. And that's basically going to be the final fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. And
oh, nice.
Yeah. That's going to be that issue may come dripping wet, and that's going to be okay with me. So, all right, couple of new ones this week here. This has been a hella fun miniseries from Marvel, but the Hell Hunters. So, the current run of Incredible Hulk has introduced the Ghost Rider from 1944, who was American GI. He died, became a spirit of vengeance, and then basically served kind of a part of World War II, being a Ghost Rider or whatever else, dealing with supernatural, other threats, and then kind of went back to his home reservation because he did have a Native American origin, and then his body kind of stays there in rest until literally he is needed. Then he basically pops back to life, as we saw in this current run of Incredible Hulk. So Hell Hunters goes back to World War II. So we have got a team that includes Peggy Carter, Nick Fury, this 1944 Ghost Rider. If you remember from the Infinity Wars, there was basically kind of a hybrid of Doctor Strange and Captain America, where it was a super soldier who could use magic. He had what's called a breathing gun, which basically is a gun capable of taking out like undead creatures, because the gun itself is living, even though the bullets come out of them. So it can take out demons and things like that. So it's basically a soldier dealing with stuff like that. Well, promise from the first issue, we get Wolverine and also the Winter Soldier Bucky involved in this series. So this issue, we finally get Wolverine joining the group here, and it's a proper introduction, because while he's basically not dealing necessarily with his claws, his bone claws and stuff like that at this point, because he doesn't have his adamantium during the 40s, yeah, he does good enough with just a couple of army
knives. Yeah.
So apparently issue 3 is going to be all about bringing in the Winter Soldier or Bucky into this particular group. But it's literally been kind of like a bit of a supernatural angle, but still like World War II fighting Nazis, but Nazis with superpowers or supernatural powers, but still World War II fighting Nazis. It's so much fun. So much fun. So nice. 2 issues in, I'm all in. Last but not least here, this is another release from Ninth Circle. This is a new imprint that Image has got here, where you've got people like Garth Ennis, Becky Cloonan, a lot of other great people, a lot of the great writers that are involved with. It's a open world, shared world sort of thing like that, all horror-based, but everything's a one-shot. So the first release I talked about last month called Freddy the Fix, which basically is a guy that's kind of like a what was the Ray Donovan kind of guy, like a fixer kind of dude, except it's for like monsters that's in Hollywood posing as other celebrities, but they're actual monsters or sort of thing like that. Basically, for the weird stuff, the supernatural, he's their fixer when things go wrong. And Garth Ennis wrote it, freaking hilarious, great one shot. Highly recommend picking that up. The next entry is Blood Train. Again, this is a one-shot here. Art by Bernard Chang and Dave Sharp, but written by Adam Glass. And Adam Glass should be familiar to Supernatural fans, because he wrote numerous series or numerous episodes for Supernatural. He was also involved in the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie. So a very cinematic book here, but the plot on this one is basically a group of friends are doing kind of like a European vacation, traveling around to a lot of foreign countries, sort of thing like that. They're at a train station, ready to board a train, trips over, we're trying to go home. One of the friends gets poked with what she thinks is a needle or gets stabbed with something. Everybody's like, oh, whatever, sort of thing like that. As the train and the trip go on, the girl starts to change and metamorphosize into a monster who's basically out for blood and killing and sort of things like that. So basically, the friends essentially are like, we gotta either stop her or help her before she kills us, because she's killed a whole lot of people on this train here. So it's very cinematic. There is some humor in there, but there's also a lot of gore. But this needs to be a movie today. But it's a one shot, so it's just perfectly encapsulated. It is absolutely my pick of the week. This was a ton of fun. We sold out of this in the shop because I pitched it so hard.
Dang. Yeah.
To the point where Tommy was able to order more copies, so we're going to get some more in. But at this point right now, we sold out. But yeah,
get me one too, damn it, why not?
I know, I will certainly get you one. I knew as soon as I pitched, I'm like, Seth's gonna love this.
Yeah, it sounds good. It is, yeah.
Oh, and Miss K, good to see you here.
Hi.
And of course, Via saying hello to Kay. Via saying, it's just a flesh wound. It's just a little prick. All right. That is all my comic book reviews for the week here. But yeah, I said Blood Train is just so friggin' fun. And there's another one shot coming from Night Circle that Joe Pruitt's writing. I think it's called like Don't Go Into the Woods or something along those lines. There's a small preview for it in there. It's creepy. It's woodsy, supernatural stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm there for that too. And I like Joe Pruitt's writing. So, yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I would definitely when the copies come back in for Blood Train, yes, I will definitely snag you one. Because matter of fact, I may just give you this one because I know we're getting more. So yeah, I may just give you just so you can read this one. It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
delicious.
Yeah, I'll pay for it and everything.
Cool. All right. So what you got for us?
So, all right. So the book that I finished earlier this week, well, I finished it after I finished Dean Hill's autobiography that John Cosper wrote from last week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So no book report, but this one, and I think that this one will be right up your alley too, for the context of it. But it's this feller called Kings of the Wild. And what this is it like imagine, but like your typical mercenary, like fantasy group, right? Like, but imagine them as a band, so you have your front man, your bass player, your drummer, that kind of thing. And so like they're the group of mercenaries, they're called bands, they have their own names, right? Like this one is Saga particularly, and they were the best back in the day, but now they're old and fat and broken up, and they've been all spread all across, all over God knows where, right? So of course the point of it is like the band gets back together, like the tagline, yeah, the boys are back in town.
Kings of the Wild. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm in on this one.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like it's a great single volume fantasy novel with a bunch of, like, it's got tons of music references, like rock and roll references to it.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, it's so much fun. And then it also hits especially hard too, because there's not a lot of literature that kind of like really kind of explores like the idea of getting older. Well, I guess there is, but it's like not like stuff like this,
Yeah. Okay.
and so it's got like a concept of like, what do these guys do as they're getting older? Like, how do they adjust to old age? Like, and becoming like, older men ourselves, like it kind of hits a little different, reading stuff like this. But yeah, I'll give this to you tomorrow if you want to check it out too, because it's
Oh hell
like,
yeah, dude. Yeah, please.
yeah, oh absolutely, because I would love for you to read this and talk about it, because it was, yeah, it's one of my favorite books that I've read in quite some time.
Okay,
And
yeah, that's a
yeah.
Sterling reference there. Yeah, talk about getting older. Yeah, I turned 49 in like 3 days. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So this will be, this will be right up your alley too. And I think I totally jacked up my focus too with the the
oh, you're right.
what
Yeah, you're fine.
hang
Yeah,
on.
you'll be good. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the funny thing, though. It's like, yeah, I've always heard a lot of people talk about, it's like when you hit 50, 50 is this magical age where you basically just stop giving a crap about a lot of things. I think I kind of already started hitting that.
Mhm.
Like at the back end of 48. So, I'm not really worried about approaching 50. Now, it's like, that was kind of like 30 was a much more of a bigger turnaround for me than like 40 ever was. And I think even 50, I'm kind of like, cool, okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually might even kind of look for, because Michelle has promised, like, it's like, we're gonna do something for 50. Like, you're, regardless of what you want to do, we're gonna do something big for 50. So it's, but I'm kind of liking the idea of that. So like, yeah, I think I need to have like a get together with like a lot of friends, and just folks,
It,
some folks I don't see on a regular basis, but some folks I haven't got to see in a while. Maybe some folks who live overseas, that need to visit sometime next year around February. I'm not saying Hoovy, but somewhere maybe around there. You got a year to save up. But I'm just saying,
yeah.
ooh, we get like double focus Seth here. I like this.
No, sorry. It was like it's bothering me because I don't know like what.
No, it's like I don't know what it's like on your end, but you're fine. You look fine on my end.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you look good
I
over
just
here.
I just look blurrier than usual to me now, but yeah.
No, okay.
Anyway, yeah, but no,
And
no, the 50th is definitely like, it's definitely a big deal. Like our buddy Bill, it's like he just had his
yeah,
50th, and it's like he did have the big get together with people, and it
yeah,
was, it was, especially as you get older too, and it's like when you start to lose people.
Oh
Like
yeah,
then it's like you really start to like those moments when you can get everybody together, it like start to mean a lot more
yeah.
because it's like after a certain point, it's like you feel like you're gonna talk to people that you've talked like that you've known since high school. You're gonna talk to them forever and every day,
Yep.
and it just there's one point when you just realize it's like, man, it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years,
I know.
and yeah,
Well, funny you should say that because both yesterday and today. So, of course, you know this guy very well, but Dave Gardner. So his mom passed away
wow.
earlier in the week, and it was very sudden sort of thing like that. She wasn't sick or anything like that. It was kind of more for like an accident. She fell, and complications after that sort of thing. So it was very sudden, whatever else. And Dave's mom was a very spry, it doesn't matter what age she was. I mean, she was going to be 83 because we were birthday buddies.
Yeah.
So she would have been 83 in a few days. So you wouldn't have known this woman was in her 80s, but she's just, anyway, it's just a mover and a shaker sort of thing like that. But yeah, so at the wake yesterday, I saw like a few people that were from like because Dave and I were both in the D&D group together for a while, and so I saw some of the old D&D buddies. I did see a few mutual high school friends. So I mean, it was kind of like weird, kind of old folk, old home kind of thing like that. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
but I feel you because there's been a couple people that were either like folks I went to high school or grade school with that passed away, and I'm like, man, it's kind of weird when people like are your contemporaries that have passed
Yeah,
away too.
yeah.
So yeah, and it's kind of the weird thing. It's like, but yeah, we made jokes as last night. It's like, yeah, like we've kind of got to that age now. Of like, hey, we don't get together as often, but we're getting together at weddings and funerals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really what it turns into. Yeah, it turns into what's that movie? The Big Chill. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yep. God, that's a movie I haven't
Yeah.
seen in a long time. But I try to avoid that for the better part of the '80s because of just like it was on. Everybody always made jokes with HBO. It's like, hey, Beastmaster's on. Yeah. Also, Big Chill's right after it. So, oh
Yeah, I
Lord,
made the
Lord, Lord.
mistake of buying that as on an impulse at one of the Barnes and Noble Criterion sales. It's on a shelf back here. And then I've never taken it out of the plastic wrap. Yeah.
You could just say I own the Big Chill. Have you
Yeah, I
watched it?
got
And
it.
like,
Yeah.
have you watched it the last 20 years? Hell
No, I
no.
haven't. This may not even be in the case for all I know.
Yeah, that's true. It could be an empty shell. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Schrodinger's cat of Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh
All right.
god.
Well,
Anyway, oh yeah,
speaking of
sorry.
weird things here, we've got yet another. This has been long overdue, but yet another installment of Seth's
That's
F
a
Up
tough
History.
history.
So, what is on the docket tonight, sir?
So forgive me, number one, for not having a lot of graphics for a lot of this stuff because yeah, it's because number one, it's like some of the stuff it's like I don't necessarily want to give like the precedent or the credence to like link it or whatever and
Okay.
show it because it's but what we're gonna talk about tonight is the effed up history of Star Trek fan films.
Ooh.
And yeah, and it sounds nerdy. Well, it is nerdy. It's nerdy as all
You
hell.
know.
But we're not gonna get into the nitty gritty of the Star Trek like lore or anything like that. But Paramount for the longest time had probably one of the most relaxed policies regarding fan films of Star Trek properties. Right, like
Yeah.
you could go to Star Trek conventions and watch like they would have special screenings of like, the fan films where it was like, made out of cardboard in some dude's basement and it's like the terrible costumes and everything. But yeah, everybody had fun with it. That was part of
Yeah.
the deal. And of course, fan films being what they were. What was that one Batman versus Predator fan film that everybody went nuts over?
Yeah.
Uh yeah,
Yep.
I forgot the name of it. You can YouTube it, I'm sure, and find it. But it's
But
still a great short. Yeah.
yeah,
It's like,
it's
yeah,
primo. Yeah.
yeah, it's like a 3.5, 4 minute like fight scene between Batman and the Predator, live action.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's like the idea was that it was supposed to be like this business card, like this video business card this guy could give, but it was also a fan film. Another famous fan film was what Thomas Jane's Punisher short, Dirty
Oh,
Laundry.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah,
good.
yeah, very is he did it right or after the the Punisher sequel he never got to do. That was basically it. But
Yep.
yeah, so but anyways, and with Star Trek. So Star Trek, all the same stuff was going on with Star Trek, varying degrees of quality, right?
Yep.
Well, then around 2015, here comes the crowdfunding. So the crowdfunding boom really starts to take off, Kickstarter and everything. So that kind of gives you a weird little area of the fans can fund things that may not necessarily be official products, so and it's kind of a weird gray area if you're Paramount, if you think about it, right? Because it's
Sure.
like, here are people paying to use or paying for something that's our property, but we're not really getting any, or any benefit out of it other than exposure, and they don't need exposure because it's freaking Star Trek and they're Paramount. But to their credit, they're very, very cool with this for a while, up until 20. Okay, this was in 2015. Excuse me. This guy started a crowdfunding campaign for a fan film called Star Trek Axanar, which is
I remember that.
Okay, yeah. And so the big deal about this Axanar in Star Trek lore is like some old battle that happened like 25 years before the original series happened. So this was supposed to tell the story of it or whatever. And there was like a short trailer that got released, if I remember correctly. And then there was going to be the big crowdfunding push to make it an actual feature-length film with high production quality and, real actors and like the whole shebang, right?
Yeah.
The kicker is that the guy was crowdfunding and he was going to use a lot of this money, according to his own admission, to build a studio to do it in.
Okay.
Which is a big kind of red flag there, because now you're building a studio to produce Star Trek content and asking for money to build a studio to produce Star Trek content, and you are not Paramount.
Yeah.
So Paramount has to basically unleash their big bad legal team on the Axanar people and get them sued all to hell. Basically, shorten the Star Trek fan film community or guidelines down to like what was originally like things like could be like anywhere from like 15-20 minute things to there was this project called Star Trek Continues, and I've actually got this I can actually pull up. I'm gonna share my screen on this one because it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it should be up there. If you can. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so it's like these are all on YouTube. You can find them, right? And like, of course, they're fan films, but they're very high quality fan films. But the idea is it's the 4th season of Star Trek, the original series.
Right, I remember this.
Yeah, and they made him over like a decade, right? Like, at various times. And they had like DC Fontana wrote some of these. They had original Star Trek cast members in a lot of these. It was like, let me just kind of show you, like,
Yeah, please. Yeah, because these aren't really high quality film, or
John Delancey. Yeah, hold on, hang on. He's in this one right now. I thought that.
Oh, now we're gone.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. I got another one. There you go. But yeah, like this is like
entire race.
We will be destroyed only if we refuse to accept help.
She may be right, Tomiat. Shame face.
I mean, they tried to make it look like a 1960s Star Trek episode.
Yeah, and you hear the music cues.
The illness will reoccur unless further exposure to the solar.
I mean, say what you will about the actor choices that they got to do it, but it's like it's definitely a labor of love.
It really is. And that was one thing about the show, or the series I remember, was how like they really wanted, like, this was like kind of very similar to what they do in the comics, where like the Batman 89 or the Superman 78 or the Wonder Woman 77. Like, this is or this Batman 66, where this is a recreation. Like, if this stuff never ended, this would have been like the next season.
Yeah. And Paramount was extremely cool with all this because, it extremely cool up until the Axanar people screwed everything for everybody. There was another thing I was talking about it yesterday on the Smokes and Road Beers, but the Star Trek Renegades pilot it it was actually a crowd-funded Star Trek pilot intentionally done that way, but like they were actually intending to make it properly as a fan film. It's like they hired Walter Koenig, Corin Nemec was in it, Edward Furlong, right? Like, and it was supposed to be like, yeah, it's not great. Don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, like, but apparently some people liked it well enough to where they funded a second episode of it that
Oh,
I
wow.
just found out actually while I was researching this. But they had to, because of the fan film restrictions, they basically had to cut all the ties from the Star Trek franchise in it and try and make it its own thing, which it didn't work at all, obviously. But yeah, now because of that, the restrictions on Star Trek fan films are they can be no longer than 15 minutes. They can't tell any story that takes longer than 2 15-minute segments. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, there's like they can't there's there's a whole, like, you can go on Paramount or CB, whoever has the Star Trek license right now. I can't remember if it's CBS,
Paramount,
yeah. But there's like, you can find the guidelines on there, and I mean they're pretty stringent now. There people are still making Star Trek fan films. Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
but it ain't the golden era of what it used to be, and it also kind of put a bullet in fan films in general. Because a lot of companies kind of took notice of this because Paramount had to fight for their IP. And, whereas now we can make like a lot of things ourselves, it's like in a world of AI, we should be seeing dozens of fan films coming
Oh,
out
yes.
all the time,
Mhm.
the tools are at our disposal are, practically limitless, but you don't hear anything about
Right.
any fan films anymore. And I'm sure you'll remember too, like back in the day, like going to the comic book store, there'd be the bootleg discs of like
Mhm.
the fan film trailers and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
And
What
yeah,
I mean, you even had like some, like, in the late '90s, mid 2000s, like basically, remember the Star Wars cops parody Troops?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like there was multiple installments of that, and that guy used to work for ILM, who directed all that stuff. So that's why he had access to the costumes and the sound effects and some of the sound and the special effects to make that look so authentically Star Wars,
yeah.
while still being a parody of two different things. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there was such a golden age of fan films, and yeah, it's one bad apple's always got to spoil the bunch, and
Yeah. And so yeah, for the effed up history, one dude or one group of people, Star Trek Axne, I pretty much killed an entire industry.
uh,
And that is the installment of effed up history.
oh, well, that is a lovely one. I've always had an affinity for fan films. Matter of fact, there was one that came out, was it last year or 2 years ago? Spider-Man Lotus. Did you see this?
I saw that had a little bit of controversy attached to it too.
It did,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it did.
did see it though. Like I did see parts of it. I was like the quality of it, I was not that enthused about. Now, the special effects work I gotta give him credit for.
Yeah,
That was pretty impressive for what it
the
is.
trailer's better than the movie, but it's a very emotional kind of movie. So like, okay, yeah, I could see like this is one of those like really good emotional introspective issues of Spider-Man. Those don't really work as a feature film because
No.
you expect more action going on, and this is a lot of like not that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
But
now
yeah,
there was
the scope of the scale, I will give them kudos for because it is impressive.
yeah.
But you were saying,
I was gonna say, yeah, there was another fan film too that I had seen that my buddy Daniel pointed out to me, and I forgot the name of it, but it's essentially like it's in like it's set in kind of like Norway, kind of imagine like the Viking, like the fjords and stuff,
mm,
and so it's like this group of Vikings that are chasing this dude, and then the dude turns around and he's like the got like the Nordic style haircut and everything, except it's got like the scope, like the swoops like Wolverine's got, and then the bone claws pop out, and then like he just eviscerates him, right? And then like
oh,
yeah, the next, and of course it has like the little the Nordic saber tooth kind of battle, going on, right? And then
hmm
like Wolverine beats him, and then like the next thing, like you see, he turns around and there's fucking uh, Viking Magneto, like standing right, yeah, and that's what it,
no,
yeah, that's what it cuts. I'll try and find it again and link it to you. But
Oh,
man,
wait.
it's killer. Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
that's
only a couple of minutes. Yeah, but
you gotta love this.
Kenzie.
What was that? Because you mentioned the Thomas Jane Laundry Day Punisher fan film. What was
Right.
that Venom fan film that came out the next year? Because it was
Oh,
before all the other Venom movies with Thomas Hardy that came out. But there was
yeah.
it was like another Comic-Con produced black and white Venom movie. Like you didn't see Venom's like the last frame, but that was
Right.
so good.
It
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I forgot all about that. But yeah, you're
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Gosh.
Oh, love that, love that, love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our last thing to talk about here today, and of course, this is going to be tomorrow on the Peacock and wherever other places you would see WWE stuff
It
there.
is on. It is
But
on Peacock.
it is on Peacock. Well, yeah, it's the Rumble, so it's WWE. They still got their deal with Peacock and everything. All right. For the time being, they haven't moved all their stuff to Netflix yet, but I'm just waiting for that to happen. But yes, this will be on Peacock, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Rumble from Indianapolis, Indiana. And as I said earlier in their episode, my early birthday gift, because the Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view. And I get to hang out with my boys and all that good stuff. And so Rumble time.
Yeah, and it's starting at 6 means that it's like we're old men now, as we discussed earlier. So
man, wrestling.
yeah, we like our old man wrestling. It's great because over here at Manhammer Manor, when we all get together, like it's like 45 minutes to half an hour to 45 minutes before the show starts when we're all together, right? Because we got to order the food and have everything come in, and then the show is minimum 3 hours, usually 3.5, 4. Right?
Something like that,
yeah. By the time the fourth hour,
definitely under 4 for a WWE show.
Definitely under 4. Now AEW could go to 6, but yeah, those are brutal. But yeah, towards the end of the night,
we gotta get a pot of coffee going during AEW shows.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. But then but of course by the time it's all over with, we're all like, all right, it's 10:30, we're gonna go, bye. And like everybody just hits the door and just disperses at the same time. But
oh God.
It's so much fun. I love wrestling nights, I really do.
Yeah, they really are. It's a lot of fun. And of course there's a little bit of debauchery and imbibing of substances and chemicals and beverages and bad food and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's great.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But
we eat like pigs.
We do, yeah. But it's to absorb all the alcohol and all the other bad stuff. So there you go.
Yeah, that is true.
It's a give and take. And of course, the boys have been requesting an eclair cake for a while, so Michelle will be bringing one of those. Well, she won't be bringing it. I will be bringing it. Courtesy.
Right? Yeah. Michelle's obviously invited anytime she wants to come, but yeah, it's.
She does, but I believe she'll be hanging with the girls doing other things that evening. So yeah, so
fair.
Yeah, I mean, as much as she would love to come hang out with you and her best friend Faith, hanging out for the Royal Rumble versus hanging out with her girls, getting some cocktails, probably the more.
I completely understand.
Yeah,
I completely understand.
But for this year, we got 4 matches on the card.
Yes, unless they add something tonight, which I don't think they will.
But, maybe something during the pre-show. I don't know, but obviously we got the men's rumble, we got the women's rumble, we've got the world title match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, and then we got the 2 out of 3 falls match for the SmackDown tag team titles between DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns.
I can't wait for that one. That is going to be one hell of a match.
That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because DIY, I'm sorry, DIY is probably one of the, I will say, top 10 tag teams.
Now, I'm not a big Johnny. I don't like Gargano at all, but I love Tommaso Ciampa.
Gargano on his own, screw him. Don't want him.
Right.
But yeah, him with Ciampa as a tag team, I'm all about them. They're phenomenal. I can't. Yeah.
But this is interesting because seeing a heel Gargano, and we've not really seen that. I don't remember if we've seen that before, there's a little bit in NXT. But
there was with his dad's pizza place and all that. That's kind of that whole.
But we've never seen Gargano and Ciampa together as heels. They've
Oh
when
no,
they
yeah, no.
yeah, when they've been heels before, it's always been separate. So together as a heel team, of course, against pros like the Motor City Machine Guns, and then of course the four of them know each other very well. So yeah, you're right. This should be a pretty solid match.
No.
I absolutely agree. The world title match should be a lot of fun between Cody and Kevin. Kevin trolling Cody with the shirts, like basically coming out with the son of a tech worker.
Yeah. Oh, I Kevin Owens is in the way that I'm looking at this. Is this I'm loving it because I'm seeing it as the son of Dusty Rhodes versus Dusty Rhodes' greatest pupil.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I'm loving Kevin Owens coming out. Kevin Owens is Dusty for all intents and purposes in this feud.
I'd like to think he's more Terry Funk, especially when he came out Saturday night's main event wearing a Cody Sucks Eggs t-shirt.
Well, yeah, I got to agree. Yeah,
when I saw that, I was like, oh, Kevin.
I know the Cody Sucks Eggs shirt I loved.
Oh. Yeah, so the two of them should be a good match here. The Rumble was talking about the women's Rumble.
Hold up. I'm sorry, I gotta stop. What if they do an angle where at the match Kevin breaks Cody's leg and then he comes out wearing the I broke Cody's leg shirt?
or just injured
yeah.
something. Oh my god.
Well, like not like the Wahoo McDaniel, like I broke Wahoo's leg. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on
that's a wrestling deep cut, kids.
Yes, sir. Yeah, look that stuff up. Oh, love that. But with the women's Rumble, I don't see as clear as like who would win that or whatever at this point. Maybe Bayley might be a strong contender, but it's not 100% clear on that one. As for who's that? Because basically, like, okay, well, your picks are Tiffany Stratton or Rhea Ripley. It's like, okay, well, Tiffany's white hot right now, so they're not probably going to take the belt off of her, and I would basically, regret anybody who would want to go after Rhea at this point.
Yeah, so. Rhea's my pick on winning it anyway. But
yeah. K Comedy says 30 men, 30 women. Sounds interesting.
I like you, K.
Oh, man, Kay is one of my regulars in my streams I do at work for comic book stuff, and easily one of the dirtiest players in the game, and so her comments are always welcome.
Yeah, no, I got to admit that like the line that was a couple of weeks ago about the hardcore fantasy has still kept coming back and popping up in my head.
we talked about that the week after that show. Yeah. That's the fun thing when I get this crossover audience of people who come in on the streams and buy stuff from Clobber Comics, but they also watch the podcast. So then I will get comments and discussion the first show I have after one of our episodes. So yeah, that's always fun.
Nice.
I love that.
Moxley.
But
Moxley.
See, Mox is going to try to do
You don't need nothing in that room. You don't need nothing in there.
Don't you go get any kitty crunchies.
Yeah. He's like, I wasn't doing nothing.
I'm being good, Dad.
Yeah.
See, I see him being
You stay right here.
I see him being all innocent and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
You tell him his three best friends aren't going to be coming to see him tomorrow.
I was going to say, I have to keep telling him it's like our friends is coming, and yeah.
You better be a good boy.
You better be a good boy or else they won't come. He's like, I know you're full of shit.
Yeah, we're still
yeah.
Well, we won't pet you like you'll get one pet as opposed to 47 out of me.
Yeah.
There you go. But talking about the men's Rumble, though, the men's Rumble seems to be a little bit more of a clearer path because it seems to be either for me, Roman or Punk.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that it's probably going to be Punk that's going to do it. My dark horse pick is Randy Orton.
That's
I was
also been I've seen a lot of Randy Orton talk too.
Yeah, I was talking about this, and I hadn't heard anything. Like this is me speculating. I hadn't heard anything, and I'm not trying to like sneak, spoiler knowledge in on it or nothing. But my logic is that Randy Orton comes in to eliminate Cena towards the end, and then that sets up a match between them.
That's good. Cool.
Yeah, and because we still got another shot. We've still got another pay-per-view before Mania, right? With Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
there's always that other opportunity, that the other hope spot, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're doing the Cena retirement tour this year. He's going to be popping up at a lot of the major pay-per-views. What he says, like 30 dates or whatever else. I mean, that's a lot of dates, for in a year. So I mean, that's more than half the year if you're just talking show up 1 week to week sort of thing like that. So,
right.
So there's a lot of potential to have Cena in there. While it would be fun for him to chase the title and to get that 17, there's really no reason for Cena to win it.
I don't think so either. I really don't.
Yeah, in his case, the chase will always be better than the catch, and that will be a far more interesting storyline, which unfortunately it seems to be WWE is going to be doing that better than possibly AEW with the Jeff Jarrett situation. At this point, I don't know what they're doing at this point with AEW, but that's a different
you know that I'm the biggest AEW apologist that's probably ever lived, and they're losing me. And
I'm telling you, it's like I look at our Wednesdays and our Saturday nights as more of just an excuse to hang and text each other than it is to actually watch good wrestling, because we're not really getting it.
Right? Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get like at least one match or one good angle or something like that in an episode. But yeah, it's like
it's been hard lately. Yeah,
it's a lot of excuses to hang out.
Yeah.
But no, so the Rumble should be a lot. That's the thing. It's been so crazy. Like, what was it? Maybe 9 months ago, we would have been hating on WWE, or maybe it's literally been less than a year.
Yeah,
because we haven't got to our next WrestleMania yet. But yeah, it's been literally less than a year of the Paul Levesque era, and it's like
no, that's no, you're right. Yeah, less than a year, because because his WrestleMania was the one that this last one was really his first WrestleMania.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we talked about in a previous episode, where I'm really looking forward to this year's WrestleMania, because like that last year's WrestleMania is like, okay, that's technically his first, but they were still like, we were still exercising a lot of the Vince McMahon from WWE. We've spent the last year doing it, so that's why I feel like this year's WrestleMania, it's like, ooh, what are we gonna do this year?
Yeah.
So, because we've seen a lot of, like, especially Saturday night's main event, with 2 episodes in of how they're doing it, how they're presenting it, how they're presenting the legends, how they're using Jesse Ventura, how they're just giving so many nods to the past.
So good, yeah.
It's just like or just the wrestlers themselves when they're having different promos and they're referencing, old feuds or old wrestlers or whatever else, or when Penta came out.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, they named Lucha Underground. Yeah.
Yes. Let me fix my headphones and go. Oh, yeah. We talked about Lucha Underground on a WWE show.
Yes. Which, if you haven't seen Lucha Underground, do yourself a favor and go watch you some Lucha Underground, because that's one of the best wrestling first 3 seasons anyway are one of the best wrestling shows. I still watch season 4. I mean, you're in there. You're in there. Just don't expect the quality of the first 3. And you'll notice it. But there was a lot of issues going on with that show. But I'm gonna have to make that an effed up history topic one day. Is Lucha Underground?
Oh, please do. Yeah. We should need to do like a whole episode on Lucha Underground, because of course what's kind of fun is the where are they now, because basically literally Lucha Underground is split between WWE and AEW.
Yeah,
like most of those rosters are split between those two. There's very few people who were in Lucha Underground who are not on either of those two rosters.
Right. Yeah, some of them are even gone completely, and it's oh man, we're wasting an episode on that one, but we will I want to get back to that one. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, please, yeah, because it's a defunct championship wrestling, which, by the way, that's a great YouTube. I can't remember, WrestleSpective, I think, is the YouTube channel. I'm going to give them a free plug there. WrestleSpective is the YouTube channel, but they have like a lot of different documentaries on there. But there's a guy who does defunct championship wrestling. He's done multiple episodes on literally wrestling companies who have come and gone. And they're well done. He's even done one, like his season finale for last year was Smoky Mountain Wrestling. But he did a really, really good one on Lucha Underground. So defunct championship wrestling, look him up on YouTube through WrestleSpective, worth checking out.
Nice, I will.
But yeah, as defunct wrestling companies go, Lucha Underground, they got my heart very early on. And as we've talked about, they were appointment television.
Yeah. We had to jump through some hoops to both keep watching Lucha Underground. Like it was.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. It was a hard show to keep track of for a minute.
I basically, the fourth season I had to just buy on Amazon. So like I have the fourth season on Amazon Prime. So but that's how I had to because like the cable because what was it the El Rey
yeah.
So like for the first two seasons it was cool and El Rey was on everybody's cable thing, and then like the third season like something changed, they went to like a different tier and like no, so like change tiers or something like that to be able to
that happened to me after the second season. Was I had to change tiers.
Okay.
Stupid
I had to wait till third season to change tiers, and then like they completely were gone off my cable roster entirely by the fourth season, so that's why I had to buy them on Amazon. So
yeah, and it's weird that it's like El Rey now is like a weird online streaming channel, and they still to this day show Lucha Underground at like Sunday mornings from like 8 to 10 or something like that. Yeah. It's bizarre, like what El Rey has become, but
I wish they would just put out like their own streaming app, because like they are now what Shudder was 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Because Shudder was basically just a website you could go to. They didn't have a streaming, and now Shudder's a streaming app, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
So so El Rey has now become the reverse of what Shudder is now.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird thing. Well, sir, I think it's about time to wrap things up, because I think we've gone.
I was going to say, we've just we've talked ourselves to death tonight, haven't we?
Well, we just hit the hour and a half mark here, but we're about to hit the hour and a half mark. We're a few minutes away from that, but it's like we had a couple of busy weeks in a row here, and of course, I was on. Aside from the episode we did on last Friday, I basically moderated one panel Saturday and 3 panels on Sunday. So I was on air for like 5 hours. That's not even counting what I was doing at work. So it's
dang, yeah.
It's like I'm tired of hearing my own voice right now.
I feel you.
Oh, but I imagine you guys, hopefully you guys aren't. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us once again on the Fanatic Forum here. Of course, this is the place for geeks. Like it, share it, stream it, whatever else, pass around to your friends here. I love having folks come on and be a part of our broadcast here. So V and K, thank you very much for tuning in once again. Oh, hang on here. We got another comment here. Oh, there we go. Our signature. Until next time. Yes, thank you,
Thank you, V.
One of our most dedicated viewers, folks, and he is on the other side of the world. So that means he is watching us in the wee hours of the morning, folks, here. So let me tell you about dedication here. So
we appreciate it, V. We appreciate it.
This gentleman right here, he's always welcome at the table here. Anyway, so you all have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum. And it sounds like we're going to be talking about some grindhouse stuff next week, possibly. So anyway, we're going to talk about exploitation, I think, next week.
I think that sounds fun. Yeah,
that sounds like a plan. So, sir, you have yourself a wonderful evening. I will see you tomorrow, and ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next time on the Fanatic Forum. Take care.
My name is Mark Weiss, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Comic Books for Kids. 6 years ago this month, we embarked on a journey of passion and heart. Our goal was to make a difference for children in hospitals and cancer centers. Little could we have ever imagined the response we have now. Starting with just hopes and dreams, we had no money for our mission. We had no product to give to the hospitals, and we had only called a couple hospitals and asked them, if we were to provide you with comic books, would you be interested? And they said yes. So we embarked on a 1-year journey to make a difference for these kids. We realized that even though we can't take away the reason these children are in hospitals, we can perhaps, while they are there, let them fly like a superhero, be princes and princesses, and embark on a mystical and magical journey to take them away from where they are in that hospital bed. Today, and thanks to your support, we are thrilled to say that we are now the largest charity in the U.S., supporting well over 200 hospitals in all 50 states for not only comic books, but for other pop culture items like Funko Pops, action figures, coloring books, Spanish bilingual items, backpacks, and more. When we received materials that were inappropriate for the young ones, we started a sister charity called Comic Book for Truth. And overnight, we became the largest charity in the U.S. for these same items to all branches of the military. We want to thank our friends for providing us their support and for allowing us the means to make so many happy with their gracious give to us.